Basements, marquees, old function rooms, venue Wi-Fi that turns out to be a guest portal with no way out to the internet. It happens often enough that you want to know what your booth does before it happens to you on the night. And the short version is better than people expect. Guests still get their videos. What you lose is the lead capture. That's the whole answer, and everything else is about setting up for it properly. It works because of what this runs on. Logibooth is an app on the phone you mount on the arm, so the recording and the rendering both happen on that phone. No laptop, no capture box, nothing that needs to phone home mid-event. The internet is only ever involved in getting the clip to the guest, which is the part you can plan around. So here's what carries on regardless. The camera and the arm don't need a connection. The clip is rendered on the phone, and your intro, overlay, outro, soundtrack, and logo are all baked in right there. And two devices on the same Wi-Fi can still pair, because that traffic never has to leave the venue. Now the part you planned for. The contact gate still appears, and a guest can still type their email in. But saving it needs the internet, so they get a message saying it couldn't be saved. Nothing is queued. Nothing syncs later. Those details were never written down anywhere. The app does handle it kindly though. Over a local connection, the skip for now link is forced visible even on a gate you marked as required. So nobody gets stuck behind a form that can't submit. They skip, and they still walk away with their clip. Same story with the review prompt and the social follow. The gates appear, and continue still moves people along, but the pages themselves may not open. Nobody's blocked. Nobody follows you either. That's the trade, and it's worth telling a client before the night rather than after. So, 3 things to set up while you still got a connection. Add your branding because it uploads so your other phones can fetch it. Set delivery to local because a cloud link is useless to someone with no internet. And fill in the Wi-Fi name and password because on a local event, those know the code that joins a guest to your network. Here's where the last 2 live. Event, Settings tab, Guest Delivery. Default delivery goes to local, and those 2 Wi-Fi fields underneath are not optional in practice. Leave them blank and your guest scans a code pointing at an address they can't reach, and it looks like your booth is broken. Now, a proper word about that Wi-Fi, because this is where offline events actually go wrong. Most venue guest networks have a setting called Client Isolation turned on. It stops devices on the network from talking to each other, which is sensible security for a hotel and completely fatal for what we're doing. Your guest joins the Wi-Fi, scans the code, and still can't reach your phone. The network is working perfectly. Your booth is the thing that looks broken. So the reliable answer is to stop depending on the venue at all and bring your own. A small travel router, the kind that fits in your hand, running off a power bank. It doesn't need internet. It doesn't need to be plugged into anything of theirs. It just needs to exist so that your booth phone, your ShareStation iPad, and your guests are all sitting on one network that lets them talk to each other. And because it's yours, you're the one who decides that isolation setting is off. You could use your iPhone's hotspot instead, and for a small setup that's a fine fallback. But a router is better for 3 reasons. A hotspot takes only a handful of devices before it stops letting anyone on, and a queue will hit that. Your phone is already recording and rendering, so don't make it run the network too. And your own router keeps the same name at every event, so you fill those Wi-Fi fields in once and print the join code once. And the branding is on the Branding tab, same event. Add it at home, not in the car park. It has to upload before your second phone can use it. Now the one that really catches people, and it's about a new phone. If you're on Pro, the app checks that with our servers. On a device that has never once been online, it can't check, so it treats you as free and bakes our watermark into the clips. That decision is permanent, because finished clips are never re-rendered. Open the app once on any connection before you leave. It only has to work once on that device. And then the one thing to do before you pack down. Clips from a local booth are not uploaded automatically. They sit on the phone that recorded them. Open the Event Booths tab, open the booth, and find the card that says Served Locally, not backed up. Tap Upload All once you've got a connection. Until that runs, the only copy of the night is on that phone. Everything else sorts itself out once you're back online. A cloud booth that couldn't upload during the event has its clips deferred, not failed, and they go up when the signal returns. The only thing that never catches up is the lead capture, because there was never anything saved to sync. So the short list: branding added, delivery on local, Wi-Fi fields filled, app opened online once on every phone you're taking, devices paired. Then afterwards, upload all before you leave the building. Get those right, and a venue with no signal is just another event.